Okay, so you'll see that I finished designing my book here. I've been designing Casual Byron's Profession by good old George Bernard Shaw. So you'll see it runs along, and I have a total of, I believe it's 208 pages, which is 13 16-page signatures. And here it ends perfectly on that page. Anyways, what I want to do now is write the PDF so we can print these. I'm actually going to show you two different things. I'm going to show you how to write the PDF so it can be printed and centered on the page. And also then I'll show you how you could print it directly from InDesign. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to export. So Command E, and I'm just going to put it on my desktop, and we're going to save it as a PDF and a print PDF, not an interactive PDF. Okay, so I've already named it the PDF name. I'm going to click save, and it's going to replace because I've already tested it out. Yes, I want it to replace it. So the first thing we want to do is save it as a high quality print. We probably could get away with saving it as smallest file size because it's all vector, but we want to save it as a high quality print. I'm going to make the compatibility Acrobat 8 to 9, the highest compatibility. The other important thing is I want to save it as individual pages, or I want to export it as pages and not spreads, so we can back each page up. If you want to click all these on, embed page thumbnails and all that stuff, you can. It doesn't really matter. None of these will matter because it's going to be a print-based document. I'm going to skip over the compression for now because there's not going to be that many images in it. And I'm going to go to marks and bleed. And I want just my crop marks. I don't want any of the other crazy stuff on there. Okay. And also, if you happen to have bleed to put on your document, for example, if you're putting a color all over the background, you can either use the bleed settings that you set up in your document. You'll see that I don't have any. Or if you forgot to do it, you could actually go in then and set it up if you wished at that point. Okay, so, but we don't have any, so I'm just going to go and put use bleed settings, and it will go to 0. Okay, now basically when we're exporting to the PDF, we're done. And if I go click export, and I've got this saved so it will actually open when it's finished exporting. And here we go. And you'll notice that this is a 6x9 document. It has included the blank page. So this is the first page, the half title page, blank title or blank on the verso of that, then the title page, and then the copyright page and all that. So we run through the whole thing. And you'll notice that what it's done is it's trimmed the size of the document to just at the edge of our crop marks that we've put on there. Okay. If I hit Command D, it will bring up the document size. So it's 6 5/8 by 9 5/8 overall. Okay. So I'm going to hit cancel. And now if I was going to print this on the printer at work, what I would do is I would hit Command P, and I've got my Xerox Work Center in here, and you'll see that it's already been centered on the page. But just to make sure everything works, I'm going to go to, I want all the pages to print, including the blank ones. I want it to be the actual size, and you'll see right now it's chosen a 12 by 18 because that's probably the last size I printed. Also, auto portrait and landscape will keep it, in the center of the page. If I hit page setup and go here, I have my Xerox Work Center, and I can choose to print it on letter. And if I click OK, you'll see it resizes itself. All the crop marks are staying on the 8.5 11 page, and I would print it and just make sure I clicked print on both sides of the paper, and I want it to flip on the long edge. So I want that to be where it's aligned to. If I flip it on the short edge, what it's going to do is print upside down on the second page. Okay, so I want it to bind on the long edge. And I would just hit print and it would send it off. Okay, so that's the PDF. I'm just going to hit cancel, and I'm going to go back to my InDesign file. And if I go back here and hit Command P, you'll see I have it set up a little differently here. So I'm going to go into the printer, and I'm going to pull down to the Xerox Work Center. And you'll see that it's showing me exactly in the little print preview here where it's going to print. So there's some more work that we have to do on here. So what I'm going to do is make sure it's clicked on Pages, and also that I want it to print the blank pages. Okay. Now I have to get it so it's set up in the middle of the page. So if I go to Setup, you'll see in here it says Page Position. So I'm going to pull down to Centered, and you'll see now it's moved it into the middle of the page, and my scale is at 100%. So it's basically going to sit there at 100%. It's not going to get any larger or smaller. Before I correct my page size here, because it's being printed again on a large sheet, I'm going to go in and add my marks and bleed. And again, I'm just going to put some crop marks on here. Okay. And you'll see, if you can see them very small, it's right in there. Now I'm going to go in and set up my page setup. So this is basically telling the printer what paper it's going to be on. So you'll see I'm going to do Xerox Work Center, and instead of tabloid oversize, again I'm going to choose US letter. And the orientation is portrait, and the scale is 100%. And now you can see that my page size is in better proportion to the overall size of the document. The other thing that I can do is if I go into printer here, I can go and choose my Xerox features, and again I can choose a two-sided print, and you'll see that this is a little different. It just says two-sided print. The other choice is two-sided print flip on short edge, and again that's going to make the second page show up on the back of the document. It's going to put the second page backwards or upside down, sorry. So I'm going to leave it at two-sided print because then it will bind on the long edge. Okay, so that's what we want. And if I go to print, I'm all set up and ready to go. Okay, so that's basically how you set up for print. And in this way, as long as the front and the back are printing in relatively good registration, we should be okay. Okay, and so far it's worked. So if you guys can export those PDFs for me, then I'll get them printed on a Friday and we can go from there. Okay? Okay. Thank you.